Joining us is Rand Water Chief Operations Officer Mahlomola Mehlo. Very good afternoon. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Perhaps, we've just come out of the DA in KZN announcing its premier candidate. And the DA, John Steenhuisen, the leader, saying in KZN, asking this question, how low do you have to go to end up as a municipality that cannot even put water in taps? That's essentially the same question, Mr. Mehlo, that has been posed to you in Gauteng. What is your reaction?
Good morning, Paul. Thanks for having us. I think we just need to remind the viewers that as water, we are a bulk supplier. We are a water trading entity. We purify water and we distribute it to municipality water. We do not have any control over that. We do not have any authority on how municipalities reticulate the water that we produce. Let me just mention that the water that Rand Water has been producing over the years has been quite sufficient to go about everyone. And all we have been saying is that there is actually a lot of water that is actually lost in the municipal infrastructure. The Department of Water and Sanitation has actually released a draft watch report, which will be publicly launched in October this year. And from that report, it has actually been reported that the losses, which is the water that we produce, non-revenue water is around 41.9%. And of that, some 33% of physical water is actually lost in the municipalities. So really and truly, we are pumping more water into the system. And remember, we are actually limited by the license that is issued by the department, and we are over-obstructing as it is. We have recently launched an additional capacity at our Systems 5, adding another 150 million liters of water per day. And it seems the more we are actually pumping, the more the system is actually losing, and the more, is actually being demanded from us.
I put that question to you because I know that the DA has been very critical, of course, about some of Rand Water's operations, also calling for your chief executive to resign. What is your response to that?
Well, it's obviously the easiest thing to make statements that you do not necessarily have to substantiate. Of course, we are aware of that kind of politicking. At Rand Water, we're not politicians. We are focusing on the facts. And the facts are we are pumping more water in the system. The system is being, we are stretching all the assets. And the water that we are pumping into all these systems, close to 50% of it is being lost. I mean, that speaks for itself.
Have you restored full pumping capacity as you and I speak? Because, for the past few days, residents across the city have been without water. What is the latest situation on the updates on water in taps?
Indeed, we have, we have actually restored full pumping. And we're talking across all our systems, all the way from purification into boosting the water. All our systems are pumping at full capacity as we speak.
When Rand Water briefed the media last week, there were some concerns around assessing the level of difficulty in restoring water to areas in the south and looking at the challenges with the commando system. How are areas in the south faring when it comes to restoration?
All I can report, Mpho, is that we're meeting with our counterparts in the metros at least twice a day. We meet in the morning, we meet in the afternoon to assess the situation. By last week, we have had a number of issues around Ekurhuleni. All of those issues have now been resolved. Water has been restored across Ekurhuleni. Tshwane was also experiencing a number of issues, and they did confirm, to us this morning at 8 o'clock that all the areas are now receiving water. We are aware of some smaller areas in the city of Johannesburg that are still without water. And we have actually put together a joint plan between ourselves and Johannesburg Water we are monitoring the situation. We are hoping that by the end of the day, all those issues would have been resolved.
So you're giving it until the end of the day, and are you saying that come tomorrow, some of those, well, most or perhaps all the areas in the south will have running water in their taps?
From our side as rainwater, of course, that's what we're hoping for. But as I said, we provide water in bulk, and all we are doing at this point in time is to assist our counterparts, in the reticulation space to see, what else can we do, bleeding the air of the lines and so on. But from our side, all systems are actually getting water, including City of Johannesburg, City of Tshwane, City of Ekurhuleni. We are talking about, a lot of that water that is still being lost, unfortunately, in the reticulation space.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. Let's perhaps leave it there for now. Rand Water Chief Operations Officer Mr. Mehlo, speaking to us about the latest developments when it comes to water and the level of criticism that they've received over the past few weeks.